Grand day, amazing souls. How are you feeling? Look, today is hair day. I'm sitting in the house and doing me and my girls. I ain't get to do mine yet, but doing hair and relaxing and just enjoying this whole vibe. This is a beautiful, vibrational day. Really enjoying the energy. It's calm, it's cool, it's beautiful, it's amazing. So, I received a message from an amazing soul. And before I get there, I wanted to say this. I was in the house doing my daughter's hair, and she was talking about she wanted to be a doctor, and she didn't want to do it because of certain, things. And I told her, I said, well, you know, you can be a doctor. You can be a healer. You don't have to exactly go to school for 8 to 10 years to be a doctor, right? There's so many ways that you can heal. That is just looked upon. Being a doctor in modern day society is 111 is one way of looking at being assistance, being of assistance to humanity, right? However, I explained to her there are many, many healers. A doctor is a healer, right? You can heal in many, many ways. You don't have to go that route, that particular route. So we went on about some other professions. And it's so weird because we just had this conversation about 30 minutes before I seen this message. So there's an amazing soul who wrote to me. And she said, I don't want a job. I want my own business. I want to escape this working under someone. Gratitude for your comment, Shreya. I appreciate you for being a present soul. Let me say this. My position is not to tell you what to do with your life, right? However, let me ask you this, and this is for anyone. The question is, what skills do you have? We all come here with a set of skills, and we all come here to learn new sets of skills, right? So the question is, what skills do I have, right? And you want to be in tune with your skills and who you are, and what can you bring to the table to assist humanity in its growth, in its healing, in its ascension, in its moving forward, period, right? You can be an artist and heal people with your art. It doesn't matter. What are your skills? You have to know what your skills are. That's first and foremost. Okay, now I'm gonna jump into this real quick because I think this is really important to add. At one point, I didn't think having a job was relevant. However, when I look back at how I am where I am today, it helped me to understand the jobs that I had before I made it to this place in this space. Those jobs were they were the skills that I needed to begin my business. And I'm gonna tell you what I did. I was an office manager. I was a receptionist. I was a what was it? Um, office clerk, receptionist, and these are the main jobs that I've had throughout my life, working in office. And huh, darn it, I always lose my daggone Altoids. These types of jobs, when I look back, it helps me to understand I was at those jobs for a reason. I was becoming into my purpose because I had to learn those skills. Four, right? And I used to look down on people that work jobs. I don't anymore because there was an individual. Um, I don't know if y'all have ever seen anything outside of, this is not to brag, but I am clairvoyant, period. I have hindsight, I have insight, I have foresight. I want to see, right? I want to know what's going on. I want to see. I want to be in the know. And I have this amazing gift. So one day, the universe said, we're going to shift Victoria's whole life because we need her to go in this particular direction. So I had a flood in my house. And how it was all set up, it was so divinely guided, y'all. If y'all want me to tell y'all the whole story, I can. But I'm just going to tell the main part of why I'm telling you this. So there was I had to get my daughter in school. So there was an individual, this beautiful, amazing soul, who came out to inspect my house. Now, this was not her, it was her job title. However, it was just so divinely guided how everything worked. When she stepped out of the car, the first thing that came to my mind was, who is this? Because her aura was something I've never in my life seen before. Never. And I still haven't to this day. And that was about 7 years ago. I mean, the most beautiful, amazing aura I've ever seen. And, I couldn't quite put my finger on it at the time. But then Spirit let me know that she was an angel. Like, they really exist. They really exist. An angel in human form. I just couldn't believe my eyes. And it's like when I look back, I get blinded sometimes because her light, her light was something amazing. Anyway, to get back to my point, um, sometimes individuals are put in places and spaces to assist humanity. And sometimes, I don't know if y'all ever seen the movie Bruce Almighty. Remember Morgan Freeman? He was mopping the floors. It was a big floor with no one in it, and he just kept mopping. And sometimes we may have jobs that we may not like, right? But it's to serve a greater purpose at times. And man, I'm getting choked up because I've been there and I've done it. I've had jobs where I didn't like them. However, I was young and the universe said, hey, it's okay. You know, it was worth it because I was making some money to pay my bills, take care of my babies. You know, at the end of the day, it was worth it. However, I needed those skills. And sometimes we need these skills to move along in our life. But I will say this, there's nothing wrong with having your business either. If you want your business, know your why. Why are you doing it? Why? Is it for selfish gain? Is it because you want to help individuals? Is it because your vibration, you're not able to work around others? What is your why? Is it because you want to? Is a song, and y'all may not have heard it. Many of you may not have heard it, but it's a song, and I forgot how it goes, but it was a Christian song, and it said, "Lord, I'm running, trying to get 100." Basically, what they were saying is, out of the 100, if they can get one person out of the 100, they cool. They're okay with not saving the 99. And I just, as a child, that song just took me to places. Look at this little kitty cat, y'all. Hi, Meow. She said, no. But yeah, know your why for whatever it is that you want to do. There's nothing wrong with it. Another point that I really wanted to make here is that faith. You know, I often ask, why did I have a faith based upbringing? That was my foundation. My dad was a pastor, and, you know, my mom was a Christian. I get it now. I understand it. The way they devoted themselves to church and God, and it was amazing. However, there's the one thing that I understand today is that everything is built upon the individual belief system, right? When you have a core belief, man, I'm getting choked up because I just feel, whew, when you have a core belief that you are taken care of, no matter what, doors will open up for you. That business that you want is yours. That relationship that you want is yours. That home that you want is yours. That family that you want is yours. I'm going to tell this quick story and I'm going to head on out. I've told it before, but I moved to Texas in December. We're now at the end of October. And um, I made a conscious decision in August of 2024 to move to Texas. And for a couple of years, I've been wanting to move. However, you know, I was undecided because I didn't have the finances. I didn't have the support. I didn't know how I was going to get here. I didn't know anything. And I took a leap of faith. Man, I quantum jumped so doggone high. I'm still trying to touch the ground because I'm still in amazement at the steps that it took to get me here, but how guided I was and how everything was divinely orchestrated. So come December, the 1st of December, I didn't have a thing. I didn't have anything. This is the day that I was looking to leave. I left on the 15th. By the 14th, I had gas money. I had rent money. I had a truck paid for a week. I had, man, every time I tell this story, I get so choked up because even though it's been a while ago, I'm still in amazement at how the universe just worked everything out for me. I had hotel money, I had gas money, like I had everything that I needed to move because my faith was stronger than the fear of me making my move. Sometimes, sometimes all we have to do is take the first leap, right? And the universe will make sure that if you fall, you will be caught. And when you move with that intention, when you move with that unshakable faith, that belief system, that unconditional love, that you know that there's something, you may not know what it is, but it's something that's moving with you. I've had so many instances like this, and even till this day, I can I can write a book on all the miracles and the miraculous things that I've witnessed and seen and been through, and still 1444. If I go through it, I will still be in amazement as if it was the first miracle I've ever witnessed. So The whole point of this transmission is to move by faith and not by sight. I'm a number 5, and I tell y'all all the time, I do numbers. I study numbers. I'm not a numerologist, but I study numbers. And I'm a 5 through and through. I'm born in the 5th month on the 15th day, and I'm a life path number 5. The number 5 associates heavily with the 5 senses: hearing, seeing, touching, tasting, and smelling. I am so guided by these 5 senses. However, my faith has to overpower all of that. And that is what the whole point of the number 8 is. Being balanced with a head and heart. Yeah. And last year I was balanced with my head and heart. I I say, you know what? My faith is strong enough. Right? And then we come to this number 9, where the number 9 is, it's all encompassing, right? It's everything and nowhere at the same time to get back to that 0. Mother. So here we are at the end of another cycle, heading into a new cycle. Shreya, we're heading into a new cycle. The manifestation begins all over again. What is your why, and what are your beliefs? And once you know those two, and once you can just be guided by those two, you can have anything you want. The business is yours. You know, connect with that inner being. What does the inner being want? Connect with that. Some people like say, oh, well, I don't know. Meditate, exercise. You know, last year, no, that was 2023. I had set a goal, three months. I was writing children books. I got a bunch of children books that I wrote, and I never published them, but I did publish my memoir. That y'all can check that out in the description box below. You can go on Amazon and um, purchase the book. I appreciate all of the support. However, I gave myself 3 months. I said I want to finish this book in 3 months because it's a 7-book series. I went outside to the park every day, minus the weekends. So 15 days, I wrote the first children's book. I set out. I was in balance. I am in balance with the elements. If y'all look at my videos, I'm not inside. I'm outside because the air element, it speaks. It speaks. Get in tune with the elements. Watch shows that make you question, have you wondering. The Avatar, The Last Airbender, the cartoon. Look, I'm a big fan. I done seen it. I cannot count how many times I've watched that show. Okay? And that one show will start to spark questions in your mind. But what are your belief systems? Be grateful for everything that you've been through. Be grateful for where you are, and be grateful for where you're going. It doesn't matter that you don't know the what's and the hows and the who's and the hows and the what's and the whys and the hows and who's. Right? It don't matter that you don't know those things. Your faith, allow your faith to be so unshakable that when something arises, you be like, I'm the glitch. I'm the glitch. Fuck it. I'm cool with everything that's going on around me. I'm cool with it. Nothing can shake me. I'm all the way up. Ow! Yeah, y'all got me geeked out. But if you haven't heard this today, I love you. I love me. I love us. I love we. I affirm, I declare, and I decree that this answered your question, Shreya. and you have an amazing rest of your day. And everyone else, if you were guided towards this message, I affirm that you received this message. Peace. Have an amazing rest of your day.